How many hours have you wasted waiting for that magical moment of absolute clarity, where the heavens finally open up and tell you exactly what you are supposed to do with your life? You tell yourself that you are just stuck. You tell your friends, your parents, and yourself that you are simply looking for your passion. You say you just haven't found that one specific thing yet, that one magic pursuit that will make waking up at 6 in the morning feel effortless, that one perfect career path that will finally make your entire existence click into place. You watch endless videos of young millionaires, successful artists, and digital nomads who claim they never work a day in their life because they absolutely love what they do. And you sit there in your bedroom and you think, I just need to find that. Once I find my passion, once I discover my true purpose, then I'll finally start working hard. Then I'll finally give it my all. Stop lying to yourself. You are not looking for your passion. You are hiding. You are using the search for some mythical, perfect destiny as a convenient shield to protect yourself from the one thing you are actually terrified of: hard work without guaranteed success. You are waiting for a magical realization to justify your current laziness. It is the ultimate psychological procrastination tool. If you convince yourself that you cannot move forward until you find your true purpose, then you never actually have to do anything difficult today. You get to feel philosophical and deep, while in reality, you are just terrified of being mediocre. You are terrified of trying something, realizing you are terrible at it, and having to face the fact that you aren't a natural genius. But I want you to really project this current trajectory forward. Fast forward your life by 5, 10, maybe 15 years. You are 35 years old. You are still waiting. You are still scrolling through the same feeds, looking at younger people achieving things you once thought you were destined for. The people you went to school with, the ones you secretly thought you were smarter than, have left you completely behind. They didn't find some magical passion. They didn't have an epiphany. They just picked something hard and went to work. But you held out for the fairy tale, and because of that, you are completely empty. You have no skills, no capital, and no respect for yourself. If you keep up this delusion, you will become a ghost. You will be physically present in the room with your family. You will exist in the world, but your mind will be completely elsewhere, trapped in a server farm. You will realize that you spent your entire youth looking at a digital simulation of life instead of actually living it. You will have stopped being an active participant and become a mere spectator in your own life. While you were busy waiting to be entertained and inspired, the people who actually decided to build something got rich off of your attention. You are trading a piece of your infinite potential for cheap 10-second laughs. You are giving away your actual life force to an algorithm just because you are too scared to pick a path and stick to it. How did you end up in this paralyzing trap? Why is our generation the most anxious, depressed, and lost demographic in human history? Because we were fed the most destructive lie of the modern era: follow your passion. Society, Hollywood, and carefully curated social media algorithms completely warped our understanding of what it means to build a meaningful life. We were taught that passion is something you stumble upon, like finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk. We were told that if it feels like hard work, if it causes you stress or frustration, then it must not be meant for you. We have completely outsourced our thinking to our phones. We are losing the ability to have an original thought because the second there is a 5-second gap of silence, we fill it with someone else's highlight reel. The smartest engineers in the world, people with PhDs from Harvard, are paid millions of dollars to do one thing: keep you from looking away, training you like a lab rat to expect a hit of dopamine every time you flick your thumb. And they absolutely love this find your passion narrative. If you believe that your purpose is out there waiting to be discovered like buried treasure, you will stay glued to your screen, perpetually watching other people's lives, hoping for an epiphany that is never going to arrive. It is not entirely your fault that you fell for this. You were born into a digital casino designed to strip you of your focus and sell your future to advertisers. You were brainwashed by a culture that prioritizes comfort over competence. But staying in this trap, recognizing the walls of the cage and choosing to sit down on the floor anyway, that is 100% on you. Your parents' generation didn't sit around waiting for passion. They built discipline, they built competence, and now you are squandering the unprecedented freedom they handed you. I know exactly how suffocating this trap is because I spent years rotting at the absolute bottom of it. I was the undisputed king of waiting for the right time. I wanted to be a creator, a writer, a businessman. I had visions of massive success, but I had absolutely zero desire to do the grueling, humiliating work required to get there. I didn't want to write terrible first drafts. I didn't want to release videos that got 0 views. I didn't want to launch projects that failed publicly. I wanted to start at the finish line. I wanted to be validated immediately. So I did nothing. I sat in my room, breathing recycled air, staring at a monitor, developing that specific gross, dusty feeling where your brain feels entirely foggy and your body feels incredibly heavy. I convinced myself I was researching. I told myself I was planning. I was finding my unique voice. In reality, I was paralyzed by the fear of being seen as a beginner. And this paralysis bled into every single area of my life. I became completely self-absorbed in my own existential crisis. I had a friend, someone I would have confidently called a brother, someone with the exact same mindset and ambition as me. But because I was so lost in my own delusion of finding the perfect path, I started treating his loyalty as a given. I flaked on plans, I dismissed his problems because I thought my internal struggle was more important, and I treated him like a background character in my own movie. By the time I woke up, looked in the mirror, and realized how toxic and self-centered I had become, the damage was completely done. I lost a true friend because of my own arrogance and laziness, and the trust was gone forever. That was the moment the illusion violently shattered. That was the day I realized I wasn't an unrecognized genius waiting for a spark of inspiration. I was just a coward who was actively wasting his youth. I was waiting for a feeling to save me from the reality of hard work. Here is the brutal, liberating truth that will completely change the trajectory of your life once you actually accept it. Passion is not discovered. Passion is built. Passion is not a divine signal that tells you what you should do with your life. Passion is a byproduct of competence. You do not start out loving something. When you first try to learn a high-income skill, start a business, or get into shape, you are going to hate it. It will be awkward, painful, and deeply uncomfortable. You will feel stupid. But as you force yourself through the agonizing friction, as you put in the grueling hours while everyone else is sleeping or scrolling, you slowly start to get better. You gain competence. Competence breeds confidence, and confidence, mixed with the ability to actually produce tangible results, creates passion. You don't need a passion, you need discipline. We have completely forgotten the value of enduring friction. We have trained ourselves to expect a reward every 10 seconds, and if sitting down to solve a problem or learn a skill doesn't give us a massive dopamine hit in the first 30 seconds, we quit and label it not my passion. But you need to understand that boredom is exactly where the winning happens. The ability to focus on one boring, difficult thing for 2 hours without reaching for a distraction is a modern superpower. If you can just control your own mind long enough to get good at something difficult, you are going to lap everyone your age. The things you are running away from right now, the boredom, the isolation, the frustration of learning something new, the weird silences, are the exact tools you need to build the life you claim you want. The gap between the winners and the losers right now is not a gap of talent, and it is certainly not a gap of passion. It is simply a gap of attention. The losers are the ones whose brains have been rewired to only function in 15-second bursts. The winners are the ones who can still control their own minds. Stop waiting for the universe to give you a sign. The universe does not care if you find your passion. The algorithm doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about your attention. Time isn't something you can kill. It's the only thing that you actually have. And right now, you are bleeding it out onto a piece of glass and plastic. The battery on your phone can be recharged whenever you plug it into a wall, but the battery on your life cannot. Every single day you spend waiting for inspiration is a day you can never, ever get back. You are trading your absolute peak years, your unmatched energy, and your raw potential for a headline that won't matter tomorrow. So here is the ultimatum. Here is the final test to prove to yourself that you still own your brain. I don't want you to spend another week researching what you should do. Pick something today. Literally anything that requires effort and builds value. Coding, writing, video editing, sales, fitness, a new language. Pick one hard thing. Commit to doing it for 6 months and commit to being absolutely terrible at it. Do not look for the joy in it. Look for the friction. Force yourself to embrace the cringe of being a beginner. When you feel that literal itch in your brain to reach for your phone because the work got slightly difficult, recognize that as addiction leaving your body. Tonight, when you go to sleep, put your phone in another room. When you wake up tomorrow, do not touch it for the first hour. Go outside. Let your brain finally start to speak to you again. Stop watching other people play the game of life while you sit pathetic in the stands. Stop being a ghost. Your future self is begging you to put the damn phone down so you can actually start building the life you keep dreaming about. You only get one life. Don't spend half of it looking at someone else's. Put the phone down, pick up the shovel, and go actually live.